how do me and my wife rebuild our marriage after I had a hookup, I guess, with her stepmother. And we were all drinking together, and then it was just me and her stepmom in her apartment. And I kind of like pursued after that, and
so your marriage is over. You're not going to rebuild this. What up? What up? What up? This is John with the Dr. John Delony Show. Talking about real people going through real challenges in the real world. I guess it might be on the internets, but in the real world. And we're talking about your mental health, your emotional health, whatever you got going on in your life. If you want to be on the show, give me a buzz at 1-844-693-3291 or go to johndelony.com/ask. All right, here's my my big ask. We are now knocking on the door of 1 million YouTube subscribers. It's I always tell people, who cares about the metrics? This is kind of a big one, and I've just got to be honest and say that'd be kind of rad. So if you'll take a second to just subscribe, send this episode to somebody who you think would benefit from it. We're so close, and we'll throw a milli party. But bigger than that party. Kelly, what party are you going to tomorrow night?
I am going to see Creed.
And I have to say, I was on the original. I was all in to go.
Yeah, because you owed me money for the ticket for like a year.
That is true. Did you sell it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
he paid me within 5 minutes. I would just like you to know.
That's cool. He probably knows how Venmo works.
Yeah.
But I've got an event out of town I got to go to, so I'm very sad.
Yeah, originally it was me and John and two other guys from a different team, and then John couldn't go, so somebody else is going. But yeah, I'm going to...
You've got your black tank top, your Marlboro Reds, you're ready to go.
Let's bring it. Come on.
And your strawberry shortcake towel or whatever you're sitting on.
Okay. I was telling him the amphitheater we're going to, if you're in the lawn, you can only bring a 3x5, which is a napkin, by the way, blanket. And I just don't want to get eaten up by bugs. So I searched all over for blankets that were under a 3x5. And the only ones I found were these at the dollar store, these children's travel blankets. So the three guys that are going with me get to choose between strawberry shortcake, unicorn cat, and Bluey. So
I can't think of anything that feels, unless if they serve drinks out of like golden, like chalices, that feels Creed to me. But other than that, a bunch of dudes sitting on strawberry shortcake blankets just feels right.
Yeah, because there's one that was Five Nights at Freddy's, and I chose that one because
murder.
Yeah,
because murder. Man, I'm kind of jealous.
It's going to be a great night, and I'm so bummed that you're not going.
But when I would be hoarse, and when we wouldn't be able to shoot shows, and when you told me this morning you were listening to the playlist, just thinking of you with like a Karate Kid headband, like up in your carpeted little gym, just getting
when
after
I worked
it.
out this morning, I lifted weights to the Creed playlist. Yes, I did.
That's the most. She was wearing leather pants, y'all. It was incredible. Let's go out to Jacksonville, Florida, and talk to CAM. What's up, Cam?
Hey, how's it going, Dr. John?
I'm good, brother. What's up, man?
I guess I will just cannonball right on into this one. The question is, how do me and my wife rebuild our marriage after I had a one-night stand or like a hookup, I guess, with her stepmother?
Eric? Let's just, as they say, back that thing up. Say what?
Yeah, really just a wild situation.
In all seriousness, like what happened?
We were all drinking together. We all killed a bottle of tequila, the three of us within the hour. And then it was just me and her stepmom in her apartment. My wife went downstairs with the kids and all that good stuff, and they were swimming. And basically, she was asleep, and I was on the couch just waiting for her. I was going to wake her up for her work call. She was like supervising or whatever, and had to send a closing email. So I was standing there making sure she woke up to do that. And when she woke up, her top fell off. She was wearing a bikini. Her top fell off, and put it back on. And then I kind of like pursued after that. And
so your marriage is over. You're not going to rebuild this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a more egregious violation, man. I can. Kids and beyond kids, this.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Yeah, you've blown it up. I think the integrous thing to do is to treat your wife with dignity and respect as y'all make. I mean, I can't think of a more like just dishonoring thing you could do to somebody, man.
I agree. It was my biggest, dumbest decision I've ever made, my biggest regret, and I've just.
How long you been married?
This year would be 5 years.
Are those kids yours?
It was her. One of them is, and she was with her little brother and sister as well.
Okay, so your wife has 2 kids by somebody else?
No, there's 3 down there. It was just one that was our daughter. That's the only kid we have, and then the other kids were her stepmom's kids.
Okay.
Her brother and sister.
So obviously, this is just like insanely sensational, and it's going to make for good YouTube clips and all that. And you also know that what you did is like, it's just the lowest thing you could do to somebody. But so I'm not going to kick you while you're down anymore. Like, what's the world been like since then?
I've just been trying to figure everything out. Been really, really hard. I mean, I've been trying hard to forgive myself and just to, just work on myself is all I can do at this point. I mean, me and my wife are cohabitating right now. We're still in the same room and stuff. We've been able to go and do things together, and we've been civil and been, nothing crazy. Our marriage wasn't perfect before this by any means, obviously, or this wouldn't have even been close to happening. But
does your wife want to stay married to you?
She's in limbo right now. I mean,
what's the limbo?
We just need to work on ourselves. I mean, we've been attached at the hip since we were 17, and really lost ourselves in our relationship. We just got together real quick and moved out of state after that real quick, and then had a baby by 18. And so our whole life was just each other and baby. And then
that's not a bad thing, and that's not a reason why you hook up with somebody's mom.
Not at all. There's never a reason why that it should not have happened. There's I'm not trying to make any excuse. I've tried to take accountability from the,
Sure. No, I'm saying like there's like this just annoying cultural narrative. Like, you got to go find yourself. No, I mean, you don't. You make a commitment with somebody and y'all figure it out. Right. Y'all decide we're going to build something together. So what do you want to do next?
I want my family more than anything, and I understand that I've blown that up, and I'm just trying to. I just can't think of not coming home to my daughter every night and not coming home to my wife every night. Like, it just doesn't. Life doesn't seem like obviously there's more to go, and I'm 23, about to be 24, so there's more to go.
You're a quarter way. You're a quarter of the way done. First quarter's over.
I just can't see life without them.
Okay,
I really can't.
Because you'll have a child together. Unless you're going to abandon this child, you will be in each other's lives forever.
Right.
All right. So that's a given. I don't know unless y'all have some sort of defining. The only word I could think of right now, and this isn't accurate, this isn't right, but this is the word that's in my head. Y'all have to have some sort of line. Like, I'm thinking of the word funeral, keeps coming to mind. You have to have a funeral for what was. What we had is over. And as you described it, this stumbling from 17 into 18 to, oh my gosh, we're parents, to trying to make it all work, to I got really wasted and hooked up with her mom. Like, that is all over. And you got dropped into a coal plunge, like you're an adult, right? And when you're 18, 19, 20 and you have a little one, it's easy to kind of still be a kid, but also be a parent. You know what I mean? Like, you're a grown-up adult who may have just blown up his whole life.
Definitely blew up his whole life.
Right? So there has to be some sort of line drawn. This was, and now this is. And that might be you sitting down saying, okay, I have blown up our life. What we had is over. Both of us have to be adults and sit at this table and decide what we're going to do next. do you want to be married to me? And she's probably going to say, I don't know, because the thought of answering that question is she knows her life is different now, is blown up, but I don't know that she's metabolized it. Right?
Yeah, it's definitely taken some time. It's only 2 months ago on the 8th.
And the fact that the knife that cut her is still sleeping in the same bed, that's just really close. So it might mean you going saying, I'm going to take 30 days for you, and I'm going to go live with my mom, with a friend, with whatever, and let the smoke clear.
Right. And we did that for about 2 weeks, I would say. And then staying at my mom's, and she lives off a dirt road though, and a bunch of storms came through and made it pretty inaccessible to get through, especially with my car. And so then went to the couch, and then kind of went from there, went back into the bed and whatnot. And
it doesn't sound like she's ready for you to be back yet.
Yeah, partial. I mean, it's.
Does she work?
There's, not as of now. She's been at home with her daughter. She's going. I think she's actually starting today to get her GED. She's going the local schools out here and doing the testing and stuff like that.
Okay.
She didn't get it.
So she's taking the GED today?
Yeah, sure. She's like starting the classes. I think she's like taking the pre-quizzes and pre-tests and all that stuff to see where she's at.
So I want to challenge you. Okay. I know that the life of your daughter will be different without a dad in the home. Okay? I know that. I also know that a wife living in terror of her marriage will negatively impact your daughter as well. And so I can imagine your 22 or 23-year-old wife hearing the most insane news ever and having to stay in the same lion's den of the lion who just mauled her present and her future because she has no money. She has nowhere to go.
Right.
And so part of me thinks it would be of high integrity to you for you to say, honey, you're trapped, and I know that. Is she still flinching around you?
There are good days and bad days.
Okay.
We've been able to go to the movies, and we were just able to, this last week we went to the escape room together and went to dinner, and we're still doing things like that and able to laugh together, and I've been able to be intimate and hug and kiss her, and then other days it's not going like that.
Okay.
Which I completely understand.
I want to challenge you to sit down with your wife and say, you've heard me say this before, but I want you to hear me say it again. I blew our lives to smithereens. And my ultimate dream is that you will rebuild something new with me. But I also know that you need time to breathe. So for 30 days, I'm going to go live here. And I'm going to take care of all the bills at this house. You're not going to worry about anything. I want you to be able to breathe. And I'm going to write you a letter every day and put it in the mailbox. I would love for you to write. Maybe you present her with a nice journal, like something you go somewhere and buy a nice one today and put it on the like, I want you to get this stuff out of your body and write down because I know it hurt you bad. But if you keep hovering and she is legitimately trapped as a 22-year-old with a high school diploma, did she even graduate high school?
No, sir.
Okay, she's got nothing. And she has to tread water. You've heard of fight or flight, right?
Right.
There's another one called fawn, where you have to nuzzle up next to the person who just tried to kill you or just blew up everything because you got nowhere to go. It's the safest place for you.
That's her.
Okay. Do the next dignified right thing and give her a chance to breathe and make sure she's got no worries when it comes to money for the next month.
Okay. And I guess I have a kind of a wimpier question for you based off of that then.
Okay.
I just feel like we've both established that we're both just codependent on each other, and that I don't know. It's just hard for me to eat like.
You don't even know what that means, dude. That's a couple of 23-year-olds Googling what that term means.
Very true.
Okay, so you don't even know what that means. So don't try to give any diagnostic excuses. You got to be a grown man. You're 23. You just blew your family up. You have to say, okay, I'm gonna do the next right thing, which is to let my wife stand back up on her own 2 feet because I knocked her down. And then we're gonna come to the table, and I'm gonna say, I'll do anything it takes. What does rebuilding trust look like? And after 30 days of the smoke clearing and her catching her breath, she may look across that table and say, nothing. You slept with my mom.
Right.
Or she might say, here's what it's going to take. I'm going to need this, this, and this, and this. And then you, as a grown man, have to make a choice. Does that make sense?
It does. And I'm not trying to minimize the situation or make an excuse, but I didn't fully sleep with her mom.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It happened.
And it's try to take accountability from the beginning and
I know.
Go from there. She didn't find out or anything. I sat her down and told her, which also doesn't make a difference. But
right. I mean, it is what it is. What it is. And you need to understand from her perspective, she lost her mom too.
Yeah.
Like she's lost everything.
And then there's past trauma from her stepmother as well.
I would imagine so. I would imagine so. And so I think that we're doing the next compassionate right thing, which is you're going to have groceries, the rent's taken care of, the bills are taken care of, you're going to be able to breathe. Even if you want to go one step further, which I think you should, I'm going to help with childcare, whatever you got to do. I'm going to give you 30 days. And then at the end of 30 days, I want us to go eat breakfast at such and such place. And I want us to ask the question, are we going to stay married? And I want you to tell her, I hope we can. And I understand we got to rebuild everything. Okay? But I want y'all to have a date on the calendar when you're going to come back together.
Right. That makes sense.
And say, text me if you need me to come get our little girl. But we're not sleeping together. We're not hugging and kissing. We're just taking a break. Is that cool?
It's going to suck, but if that's what's needed, I'll do absolutely anything to move on from this, even if it's not in the direction that I'm hoping for.
Okay. The thing you can do next, you can't undo what happened. The thing you can do next is be a person of high integrity and honor moving forward.
And that's just been eating me alive too, because it's thrown my moral compass so off, because I've always told myself I wasn't that person. I would never be able to do that. And, I've looked down on others that have done that and be like, okay, well, if they can do that to the person they say that they vowed everything to, they can do that to me.
That's right. And so you are now have to reestablish trust with you.
Right.
And that means you have to do the next right thing. You can't will it or you can't think it into being. You just have to act it. You have to do the next trustworthy thing. I've often found trust rebuilding. If you have other people in your life that you've wronged, it'd be a good time to get on the phone and call them and say you're sorry. It's doing the next right thing with your wife and with your kid. It is going to do some acts of service. So twice a week, I want you to go to a food kitchen. I want you to go do the next right thing that's bigger than you so that you can reestablish trust with yourself. If you go to a local church, I want you to go sit with the pastor and say, hey, here's what I did, man. I blew up everything.
That was one of the very first things I did.
Good.
I went there, talked with him. With the therapy immediately. We've done couples therapy. We've try to do that stuff. And couples therapists didn't really seem to help. That she didn't really give any, tools to use or any kind of plan of action to.
Yeah, sometimes going to couples therapy right after something this big is like trying to go to PT instead of into surgery. It's like being in a car wreck and going straight to the physical therapist. It's not time yet, man. You got to reset the bones and stitch somebody up and take out all the bad tissue, let those wounds heal, and then you can start going to physical therapy.
Right.
Like it's just a matter of going too fast, man. Yeah, I think you can do the next right thing, man. And I hope more than anything that your daughter doesn't grow up without a dad. And so if your wife decides, hey, I just can't move past this such a horrific violation of our marriage covenant, I hope you will honor her and say, I get it. And I'm going to be the best dad and co-parent I can be. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to be a grown-up, even though I'm sad and I'm heartbroken. And I hope you will do the things you got to do to rebuild trust in yourself. And maybe by God's grace, she comes around and says, okay, I'm going to go slowly but surely, and we're going to rebuild this marriage. And here's what trust is going to look like, reestablishing trust. You can't drink. I want to see your phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to say, cool, I'm 100% in. Because I believe in you, and I believe in us, and I believe in being a good dad. This is a big one, man. It's a big one. Go slow, go slow. You will not fix this in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. It's going to take a long time to rebuild this. Constantly focus on doing the next right thing. For you, for your daughter, for your wife, for your marriage. Thanks for the call, brother. We'll be right back. I want to talk about Hallow, my go-to prayer app for prayer, meditation, learning, and more. People are always asking me about my morning routine, my wellness protocols, and how I handle my chaotic travel, recording, parenting, and husbanding schedules. And all of it starts with Hallow. And in this wild season of back-to-school, weather-changing fall madness, all of us need to slow down and commit to prayer or meditation in the midst of all this chaos. And if you've never prayed before, or if you think it's hokey and lame, but you may be even the least bit curious, or if you don't know how to pray at all, Hallow is launching a How to Pray challenge beginning in early September. And this challenge will teach you how to pray, walk you through some of the most ancient and well-known and powerful prayers and prayer techniques and more. And as always, there's always something new in the Hallow app to keep you centered on the things that are most important in deepening your relationship with God. And for those who don't even believe in God or have serious doubts about everything, there are lecture series, question and answer series, and countless opportunities for you to dig in and learn more. Download the Hallow app today, and my friends at Hallow are helping you get started by giving you 3 free months to try this out. Go to hallow.com/Delony right now for 3 free months. That's Hallow, HALLOW.com/Delony. All right, I'm always harping on my friends and family to get regular blood work done. And we can think we know how we feel, but our blood work doesn't lie. It tells us how we're actually doing right now, and it can give us a vision of our health into the future. And my team and I have looked and looked for a blood work solution that gives you great and useful data, and that will also give you trustworthy coaching on what you can do next after you get your blood test results. And I'm super thrilled that Merrick Health is now on the Dr. John Delony team for one reason: to help you and your family live healthier, better, and hopefully longer lives. Merrick is the premier health optimization platform out there. It's like having a health, longevity, and performance coach right in your pocket. Merrick Health offers cutting-edge diagnostic labs, concierge health coaching, and expert clinical oversight. And after you get your blood work back, they actually tell you what you can do next, including specific lifestyle and nutrition recommendations, along with supplement and prescription treatment options. I got my blood work back, and I had an in-depth meeting with my personal coach, and I've got a very detailed action plan for what I'm going to do next. Merrick Health goes the extra mile to ensure that any recommendations for lifestyle modifications, supplementation, and treatment fit your lifestyle, your blood work, and your goals. It's time for you to choose reality, and that means it's time for you to step up and personally take control of your health. Head to merrickhealth.com and use code Delony to get a 10% off the core package or the all-in package. That's Merrick Health, MAREK health.com/Delony. All right, man, I'm having trouble coming back from that one. Let's go out to Pittsburgh and talk to Anna. Hey, Anna, what's up?
Hi, Dr. John. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in. Let's shake off that last call. What's up? What's up?
So I was hoping you could help me with something I've been dealing with. So my boyfriend and I have been dating for about 5.5 years.
Good God, why? Why so long?
That's what I want to talk to you about.
Is it you or him?
It's him.
Oh, it's him. Okay.
I'm ready. I've been ready for a while. He's known. I told him on our 2-year anniversary I thought he was the one. I was ready, and he's just not there yet.
Okay.
So my question is, how do you know? Like, how would I know if I should still be patient and give him more time, or when it's time to potentially walk away from the relationship?
He doesn't need more time.
No.
What else is he going to learn about you?
I do feel like I've grown a lot.
We all have. If y'all had gotten married 2 years ago, y'all would have grown into completely different people. That's the beauty of being married.
Okay.
Like, you're not searching for this one place where you're finally going to arrive and solidify yourself in concrete and finally be the one. You're going to be a wonky, wobbly, goofbally Anna. And y'all going to get married, and you're going to find out weird things about each other, and you're going to continue to wake up every day and say, all right, I chose her. So what do I do next? I chose him. What am I going to do next?
Okay.
And here's how I know this. Okay, this is me speaking from personal experience. I dated my wife for 5 years. And I'll never forget, I was fishing with my buddy. Me and Ryan were fishing. It was late into the night, and fishing is probably overselling it. We would throw catfish lines out, often catch nothing, but catching fish was just an excuse to sit on the side of a lake and hang out together. And he said, when are you going to marry that girl? And I said, man, I just love being single. And he looked at me and said, I won't use the words that he used. I'll edit them for this. But he said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're the lamest single guy I've ever met. You don't go out. You're not like playing the field. It's not like, he said, I think you're just a coward. And I remember going, oh gosh, I've been thinking this is about her. It's not about me. It's about me. Has he given you any hints or ideas as to why 3.5 years after you told him, I think I'm ready to call it with you, you're my guy, that he's like, nah?
Yeah, and I have them here. I asked him a couple weeks ago.
Please make me a list. Please make me a list. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, go for it.
I ask that, and I don't think it went as well as I thought. It's kind of hard to hear, but I do have my list.
Okay, go for it.
His biggest one is losing his identity.
Yes. He will not only lose his identity, he will set fire to it.
Yeah.
And he will create a new one with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what marriage is. It's not this parallel track we take together.
Yeah, he said that it's kind of feeds into a lot of his reasons, but he's scared that I'm going to be too stringent, which I am, kind of stringent, but he's scared he's going to live a life that he does not enjoy with me.
And that's him saying, I want to break up with you, but he's too much of a coward to do that. And I'm sorry to say that.
No, I appreciate it. I've spent a lot of time in this relationship, and
I know
this has been a big, heavy thing for me to think about.
How old are you?
I'm 27. He's 30.
Okay. I think we have a tendency, I think, you know what? I was going to say young age, but I think all across the board that we look at relationships like a 401k. I put this much time into it and this much effort into it, so it needs to ROI here. But my question I would ask you is, what have you learned about Anna over the last 5 years?
I have learned, and first of all, I've learned I like control.
Okay.
A lot. So about a little over a year ago, I actually hired a Christian life coach, and we've been working on that. When I first met him, I was very shy, and I still am, and I was very much like, I'm never going to, I was scared to travel, but now I'm going on solo trips. I just went to Europe. I've really opened my shell.
That's amazing.
I'm traveling all the time.
So I want to tell you, if you don't end up marrying this person, the last 5 years aren't a wash.
Oh, absolutely. I've grown so much and learned so much.
Yeah.
I don't regret it at all, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. So why is he continuing to date you, even though he said, I think being with you as your husband would cause me to live a life I don't want to live?
Probably comfort. Okay. We are long distance now, and we have been for about half the relationship.
Okay.
I know his parents
don't get a vote.
Controlling.
Who cares about his parents? He doesn't get a vote.
No, they love me.
I'm just saying,
it's all good.
Yeah. If they're very controlling, it doesn't surprise me that he's been dating somebody who's controlling because his body wants to solve that problem.
Yeah.
And he's
I
also.
don't know if I'm controlling, but sorry, go ahead.
You said like you've been controlling, right? But he's also married somebody who's been controlling and who's actively in the process of doing the work to open her hands. That's what love and growth looks like. He's just choosing not to do love and growth. He's choosing to do love, but he's not choosing to do growth with you.
It's fair.
And that breaks my heart for you.
God is good. I know something good will come out of it.
I think the thing for you is to ask yourself, what has come that's good out of it? You're traveling the world by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got in with a coach to see, like, what are some practices I can do that are different, right?
Yeah.
You learn what love is, and you learn what love's not. What else did he put on that list?
Oh, part of the stringency is church. We're both Christians, and church is very important to me. Like, I'm at church unless I'm traveling or sick. I'm at church pretty much every weekend. And he's not. He does love Jesus, but he doesn't put church as a priority, and he's scared, like, because I've told him, me and my husband and my future children, whoever they are, we're going to be going to church as a family.
And he's told you, I'm not.
He says he will.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, probably. Most guys I know do one thing for 5 years and they just switch it on the dime.
Yeah. I mean, when we're together, we always go together.
Yeah.
And yeah, the other one is there's a lot of it's kind of funny saying these now, but he wants to find more activities that we have in common first.
And you hear it when you say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me where this is in your body right now. Where are you feeling this?
In my gut.
Yeah. Is it heavy?
Mm-hmm.
Did you already know this before you called me?
I'm one of those people. I don't really give up on people. It's like once you're someone in my life, I'm going to do everything. So I've been fighting for this for a really long time.
Yeah. Can I reframe that for you?
Yes, please.
I don't think you're not giving up on him. I think you're loving him the way he is asking to be loved. He's asking you to honor his wishes. You're giving up on trying to build a home all by yourself while somebody else sits in the front yard in a lawn chair and says, I'm not building that house. I want a different house.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving up on that building project. You're not giving up on him. In fact, you're giving him exactly what he wants because you love him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to open your hand and let him go.
Okay. Just hard, like, and I know there's so many amazing people out there, but he really is like.
Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. Just be sad.
Okay.
Be sad. I'm curious why he doesn't have the courage to just end it with you.
He's a level 10 people pleaser.
So he's kind of a coward?
That sounds more harsh than people pleaser, but maybe.
He would rather lie to you and string something along instead of honor you and let you go because it's going to be uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
He would rather be comfortable and have you at the end of the line instead of either reel you in or cut the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watching somebody else drown and not do anything about it is cowardice. I mean, you can call it what you want. You can call it people pleasing. You can call it any sort of fill in the diagnostic, but he knows what you want because you're a pretty amazing person and you've called it out. Here's what I need. And he's a pretty amazing guy. He's called it out. He just won't take the next step. So I think if I'm you, the next thing I would do is, when's the next time y'all are going to be together in person?
Labor Day. So about 3 weeks.
Okay. I personally, I'm pretty obsessive about things, and so I'd probably be on a plane today, but that's just how I roll. And that's not healthy. That's just how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to, because of finances or work or schedules or whatever, if you have to wait till Labor Day, I would tell them, I see this list, and there's just simply some incompatible things, and so on Labor Day, we're going to get together, and we're going to have the hard conversation like adults across the table. Are we going to go our separate ways?
Okay.
Somewhere along the way, you have told yourself that it's your job to shore up all of his insecurities.
That was something me and my life coach went through the list, and we both agreed that I can't really solve most of these things.
You can't. And that's not an indictment of you. It's not an indictment of him. That's just the puzzle piece doesn't fit. And these are about values for you guys. These aren't about beliefs. If it was about beliefs, like we both agree on working out. Well, she likes to run and I like to ride bikes. All right, we can get married. That's great. We'll figure that out. But like value, I will be in church every week, period. And my person I marry will value that like me. And my kids will be raised in that environment. And he's saying they will not.
Yeah.
Then we've drawn a line. And it's been 5 years. And I just think you're worth somebody looking at you and valuing you the way you have chosen to value you. And he does too.
Definitely.
My only beef with him is that he hasn't called it.
Yeah. Not to make excuses for him, but he does live a very chaotic, stressful life, a hard job, and I think he's just trying to clean some of that up.
That's exactly you making excuses for him.
Okay. I heard it too.
Yeah, right as you said out loud. Yeah. There's a counseling practice that you just ask people to say their thing out loud and record it like on a little device or on their phone and just play it back. And it's often, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was so negative, or oh my gosh, I didn't realize. Right, you have that dialed in right when you say it. I can hear it like, oh no, yeah, you're right. Whew. Yeah, sounds like hard conversations in order. And for everybody listening, I don't fault either of these people here for drawing lines in the sand and for having boundaries. And people are allowed to feel how they feel. The only beef I have here is he's made a choice, and it sounds like a while ago, that what Anna needs and wants in her life for her future partner is not going to be him. And so my expectation is that when somebody gets there, they don't choose the path of, well, I want to be comfortable, so I'm going to let this person just dangle and at the end of this line until they decide to cut it. I'm going to be a person of integrity and look you in the eye and say, I love you, and I've had an amazing time with you. I don't think we are forever. I'm not going to choose to be forever with you. And live in that discomfort and that heartbreak and those deep, deep tears and that loneliness and that vacuum, and it will be heartbreaking. And if both people are living in integrity, the sun will come up. It will come up. Or maybe he looks at you and says, I'm crazy to lose you. I'm going to work on these things. Will you work on them with me? And now you got somebody maybe you can build a life with. Thanks for the call, Anna. Hey, let me know how that conversation goes. Whether you get on a plane today and go visit him or you wait for 3 weeks. I want to know how that conversation goes. And my hope is that both of you can say the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and y'all can come to some resolution so that y'all can both get some peace, whichever way you go. We'll be right back. All right, it's time to talk about the greatest sleep innovation since the invention of the mattress. And of course, I'm talking about 8 Sleep. And I love that 8 Sleep is partnering with you to change the way you sleep and ultimately change your marriage and change your health and change your life. My wife and I have been sleeping on an 8 Sleep now for over a year, and it is a complete and total game changer. My wife likes to sleep on the sun, and I like to sleep in Antarctica, and the 8 Sleep makes it possible for both of us to sleep like we want and need in the same bed. So what is 8 Sleep? 8 Sleep is a fitted sheet. embedded with cooling and heating technology. It's called the 8 Sleep Pod, and the pod can be easily added to your existing mattress like a fitted sheet right over the top, and you get individualized temperature adjustments for either side of the bed. It cools down or warms up however you want, and over time, it learns what your body needs, and it automatically raises or lowers the temperature to help you have a sleep quality like you have to experience to believe. It also has a gently vibrating alarm to wake you up. And if you're a data nerd like me, 8 Sleep means you don't have to wear all the watches and rings and armbands to bed anymore. You can just put those things out in the hallway, and 8 Sleep will track everything for you. And now there's the newest generation of the pod. It's called the Pod 4 Ultra. It cools, it heats, and now it elevates automatically, because why not? We're in the Jetsons now. There are so many great new features on the Pod 4 Ultra, but here's one of my favorites. The Pod 4 Ultra automatically detects your snoring and lifts you a few degrees to improve airflow and stop you or your partner snoring. You don't have to do anything. You don't even wake up. You owe it to yourself and your marriage to at least check out and learn more about 8 Sleep. Stop the show right now and go to 8sleep.com/Delony. That's EIGHT sleep.com/Delony. And for the Pod 4 Ultra, if you use the code Delony, they'll give you $350 off right now. Go to 8sleep.com/Delony. All right, off to Atlanta, Georgia to talk to Kathy. What's up, Kathy?
Hey, how are you?
Man, today's been a heavy show so far. Hopefully you'll bring some joy and light. I'm just playing with you. What's up? I'm doing great.
Well, my question is about grief.
Because why not? All right, so
but
what's
it's
up?
not a high stakes question.
No,
my relationship's not in crisis. I just have a question about grief.
All questions are heavy, so it's all good. So what's up?
Yeah. So my boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years.
Okay.
And love him to death. It's a great relationship. But his grief over his mother's death is showing up in ways that I find kind of unpredictable and surprising. And I'm not sure, one, like how I feel about it, or two, like how to deal with it, like how I'm supposed to be responding.
When did his mom pass away?
7 years ago. And I've never met her because we've only been dating for 2 years. And I should say that his relationship with his mother was his whole family. Like his father left when he was very young. His father died some years later. There's no grandparents. There's no aunts and uncles. There's no siblings. It was just him and his mom, single mom, them versus the world. Mm-hmm. And so she passed, but also like that's kind of like his whole family passed away at once. Yeah. So I recognize how hard it is.
Well, in the context of this call, I'm going to say some real direct things that I would be a lot more gentle with, just because we would have longer to talk if we were just hanging out in person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll things that will probably sound harsh, and I don't mean for them to be. It's just me being as honest as I can, okay? 7 years ago, your husband's entire world went away. That's exactly right. How old was he?
I guess he was 32 at the time.
Okay. So he's knocking on the door of 40?
Yep.
Okay.
Both of us are.
This is it's not a nice way to say this, but some people occasionally in grief, they get flash frozen. Everything stops. And it's not that you ever get over somebody, but you do continue to grow. And you shift from a daily feeling as though this is happening in real time to an honoring. But for most people, it takes a conscious choice. Or if you've listened to this show a long time, you've heard me say, hey, you've got to let that person go rest. Because your hands are still tightly wound. 7 years is not a long time to miss your mom. 7 years is a long time to be held hostage by the moment mom passed. Do you get the difference there?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's like a sand castle he's holding on to, and it's like blowing away that piece of sand at a time, and he can't. Scares him, I think. I don't know.
Yes. And what I would say part of healthy grieving is not trying to hold it. It's sitting with it as it blows away. And I don't ever want to put a time limit on how somebody grieves, but 7 years is a really long time.
Yeah.
That has been a choice to try to protect the sandcastle. And I love that analogy. That's a great analogy. I'll probably reuse that someday. But when you cover up the sandcastle to protect it from the wind, you miss the sunrise and the sunset. And you miss the people that walk by and say hi. And you miss the person extending their hand saying, hey, I'd love to dance with you. And that's that flash frozen. That's that stuck in the moment. And I can't think of any other word other than that's a choice 7 years later. Not that on her birthday, his body doesn't just shut down and he weeps. And that's normal. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's you and me against the world, and then you passed away. Tell me how it's showing up in your relationship, in your dating life.
I mean, we have great communication, it feels like, about everything. We can talk about really tough stuff. But when it comes to her, I can't figure out how to talk about her or how this grief is showing up without kind of getting my head bitten off. Like I went to organize underneath the sink the other day and I moved her shampoo and it was a meltdown.
Yeah.
Or I throw away a piece of paper that doesn't mean anything to me and I assumed it doesn't mean anything to him and that's a meltdown. So it shows up kind of we have a city house and the country house, and this is the country house that he inherited. And so that's where we go on the weekends. And so it shows up kind of physically in that house a lot.
Yeah.
And then it shows up like in his decision making.
How so?
A lot too. Like he still like holds grudges against a restaurant that didn't treat his mom well once. And so now we can't go there anymore. Or some neighbor that said something mean. He's like still holding those grudges, or the stocks that she bought and left to him, like he won't ever sell those stocks. So let's just hope they keep on going up. It's like the decision making is also, it's what she would have wanted as opposed to what he wants a lot of the time. And maybe what he wants is what she would have wanted, but I just feel like I'm just along for the ride.
You are.
When it comes to those types of decisions,
Kathy, your feelings are right.
Yeah.
He's not well.
Okay.
He's not well.
We are so good in every other area. I feel like when I try to bring her up, I can't.
Kathy, you don't know him. You don't know him. Because he is frozen in time.
Okay.
He's frozen in time. And I'm not going to tell him he doesn't get to do that. I'm going to tell you he's missing out on life, and you're trying to solve a problem that you can't solve. And that is, a 40-year-old man has chosen to not metabolize his mom's passing 7 years ago. He's choosing to sit down in the middle of that loss and not grow.
Yeah.
And I reject the language of you just get over something. You don't. You don't get over your single mom passing when it was you and her versus the world. You don't get over your husband dying. You don't get over that kind of stuff. You don't get over your wife dying, your mom. But you do acknowledge the sun comes back up. And you do seek permission to laugh again. And if you have no family, you're awful, like skin peeling off, painful. Mission is to find a new set of ride or dies.
Yeah.
Not to lock down on something that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that feels right. Because it feels like there's times when I'm trying to build a new family with him.
He is stuck in his old.
Stuck in the old. Yeah.
Hey, you're not crazy. And can I tell you something else? How old are you?
I'm 39.
Is this your first guy that you thought like I could be married? You've been married before?
I've been married before when I was much younger.
Okay.
So this is the first guy in a long time where, yeah.
Can I just tell you I'm sorry about that too?
No, thank you.
I hate that for you. Because you started making plans, didn't you?
Yeah.
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 That sucks. You know what sucks is too trite. That's like what high school kids say. Like, this is heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you think I can have this conversation with him where I say, like, I think you're stuck and I think you should talk to someone about being stuck? Like,
So
it feels super scary to say, but
you have to be the one. Here's what I'll tell you. The litmus test for a new relationship is not that you're not going to be sad.
right.
Like, let's say my wife passes away and I marry somebody else whose husband had died. It would be insane for me to think that there's going to be a week of that, or there's going to be times that she gets struck by lightning with these thoughts or memories or feelings of another man. That's what I've married into, right?
Right.
My expectation would never be that that goes away and that his memory is erased from the world. That's impossible. That's a part of the person I would be marrying. What I would expect as her new husband, as her new friend, as her new whatever is we can have the hard conversation. Of all the things you said to me, the thing that makes me the most, that I think makes your relationship the most tenuous is there are off limits things to discuss. There are things frozen in time, like shampoo bottles, like old pieces of paper, like stocks that may lose value. And I can't think of any parent who would give their kid something and wouldn't want that something to be of maximal joy and benefit to them. Not, I want you to hold this and ride it all the way till it loses everything.
Right.
I'm a parent. I would never want that for my kid.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not what she wanted.
Of course
I'm
not.
sure it isn't.
But it's frozen, right? And when you can't make that leap to, okay, not I'm still going to her for advice, but I'm now going to internalize her wisdom and her strength and her grit, and I'm going to apply that to the lessons and the love she gave me and the things she taught me. I'm going to apply that to the world. And as much as she loved me, I'm going to find a special somebody and I'm going to love that person. You see what I'm saying? Like, you apply.
Yeah.
You take it, and it's in honor of. It's not in place of. And so the fact that you are asking me after 2 years, y'all live together?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all are making a home together. There are still things you're not allowed to talk about? Yeah, that's a huge set of red flags for me.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. And he just gives me I'm going to deal with it in my own time. You know, I have to do this on my own. I'm going to deal with it in my own time. And I can't express how it affects me. I just never get to that part.
Well, and I need you to believe in your bones that you get to demand the same thing of a intimate relationship you're in, which is, I'm not going to have secrets, and we're going to work through hard things together, and we're not going to brush grief under a rug. We're not going to freeze it in time. And if I'm not in a place where that I can be trusted to build a new life with you, I honor you, but I'm worth that. I'm worth more than that.
That feels really true. Like, that feels really true to be able to say to him, like, we are partners in every other way. We intend to build a family together. So I can say I need to be trusted with this part of you too. Like, this part of you can't be locked away.
And let's take grief off the table for a second, because that's so third rail, right?
Okay. Yeah.
My mom is the raddest lady on the planet. She's just rad. She's amazing. When I married my wife became the most important woman in my life, period. That was the choice I made. And so forget the fact that he's still hobbled by her death 7 years ago. He's still choosing every day to wake up and let mom be the most important person in his life, and not the person he has invited to move in with him, not the person he's sharing his life with. And what I want you to hear me say is you're worth being number one on that hierarchy.
That feels good to hear. Also, like, a little scary to hear. I did wonder if this is just like normal mother-in-law stuff.
No.
Just this one happens to have passed away.
No. If she had died 6 months ago, a year ago, absolutely. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
7 years ago is he's making some choices to stay put. And he gets to do that. If he was sitting with me, if he called the show, I would offer him a different path. But he's not on the phone with me, and just you are.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, totally.
I want you to trust your gut on this one. You're not crazy. How about that?
Yeah, that does make me feel better. It makes me feel, I guess I was afraid that I was just supposed to kind of ride this one out and let it take its time. And
it's been 7 years. Yeah. And at this point, the thing that makes him feel the safest is to imagine mom is still here. And to not, in my words, let mom go rest. I just have this picture of this angel, and he's got a rope and won't let go of it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. It's the sandcastle or the angel on the rope.
That's it. Like, hey, I left you money. I left you a house. I left you my good looks. I left you grit and determination. And I left you 5 lifetimes of love because it was just me and you.
Yeah.
Let me go rest. And I want you to go live a rambunctious, maniacal, fun, adventurous life because you only get one.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
And I can't do it for him.
There you go. There you
go.
You're not crazy. And I'll tell you what, I wish both of you, just a huge exhale. I wish you both peace. I also want to be honest and say, man, it may not be with each other.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm heartbroken with you. And with you.
I wish I could fix it.
I know.
I wish there was something that there was a role for me to play. I wish I'd met her,
Yeah. Maybe she would have been mean to you. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But maybe she was amazing. Yeah. The challenge is he's chosen to be with you romantically for 2 years to bring you into his life. Y'all have real estate together, right? Y'all are trying to build this life, but you're doing all the building. He's staying in his old house. And he's not interested in building something completely new with you. And he's not interested in letting mom go. And I'm a firm believer, you can't rush grief. I can't push somebody with 2 hands into choosing to live with that reality. But what I can do is sit with you and light your cigarette with you and just point out the sunsets that you're missing and the sunrises that you're missing and the laughter and joy that are still here when you're ready. And I'm with you, sister. I wish, man, we could snap our fingers and make one call and he'd be like, oh, you're right. There's few things harder than when we realize we're powerless to change even those that we love deeply. We just have to ride with them. Or we have to let them go. Thank you for the call, Kathy. I wish you guys the absolute best. And tell him to give me a buzz if he ever wants to. Would love to talk to him. Y'all have a good one. We'll be right back. I'm so proud that Thorne Supplements, my favorite supplements on the planet, have continued to partner with me and our show listeners for health, longevity, and just feeling good. Thorne is one of our longest standing partners on this show, and it's because I trust them, I use them, I read their research papers, and I know their products are great and that my fans will love them too. Here's the deal with supplements. There's so much garbage out in the marketplace. Trash. And other than my admitted gummy candy problem, I'm pretty freakish about what I put in my body. And that's why I trust my health and the health of my family with Thorne. Personally, I've been taking Thorne supplements for years and years, way before I was on the internets with these shows. And my wife and kids have been taking them as well. And here's what I take every single day. I take the super EPA fish oil, the methylated B vitamins, creatine, phosphatidylserine, and more. I take Thorne for specific physiologic needs for me to keep my body and mind optimized and for overall longevity and health. And here's the cool thing. We've set up an amazing opportunity for all of the listeners of the Dr. John Delony Show. 25% off everything in the Thorne store, and not just on your first visit, but every time you make a purchase through our page and our account. This isn't a sale that's going to change from week to week. All you do is go online, create an account through my page, and you'll get 25% off from here on out, forever. It's that easy. Go to thorn.com/you/Delony. That's Thorn, THORNE.com/U/Delony for 25% off everything in the store. I trust Thorn, my family trusts Thorn, and you can trust Thorn too. All right, we're back. Man, that's going to be the uplifting show of the year. My goodness. What's up, Kelly? What do you got?
After that, everything I kept trying to find, I was like, nope. So this is a good one.
I'm not crazy. That was a tough show.
It was a very tough show. There was a lot of very heavy stuff.
We need to come with like a I don't know, like a whiskey warning or something. Hey, by the way, so I got text messages this morning. I got Instagram. What did I say on a previous show? Something about Wally. What?
Wally Wanger, I believe, was the term you used.
I said Wally Wanger?
Yeah, when talking about the
It was Wally Wankin, actually.
Wally Wankin?
Oh, yeah, a guy, Wally Wangen. Talking about the guy that his girlfriend wanted to go to the strip club.
Oh, a male strip club?
Yeah.
Ah.
And it was something along the line of some guy, Wally Wangen, up on stage or
My
something.
brother texted me this morning, and he was like, Wally Wankin, and he just had like 700 laughter faces. And I was like, I don't know what are you talking about?
Because even in the episode, you're like, I don't even know what that is. I just made it up, but it sounds like what they're doing up there. So
I can't think of, I should be in the dictionary because that's what's happening. Well, sorry about that, America.
It's a disturbing term. I'm not going to lie.
Man, we're going to lose. We're not going to get to 1 million with me talking like that.
Well,
Wally Wankin. All right, so
like today.
What's the social post?
The social post for today. I generally utilize these little black text box notes on IG to post things I've done that I've recently messed up in my life. These notes are almost always little notes to myself that I post in hopes that someone else might benefit from my failures or from something I've learned along with my years of working alongside people. So today, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being in my gang. Thank you for posting and liking and reposting. Thank you for disagreeing and for correcting me and for laughing and following. I'm grateful for you. I thought, given the fact that we just hit a really great number on subscribers on YouTube, this was a great post.
Yeah, saying thank you. And I'm finally coming around after a couple of years of playing on the pretend internet worlds. Like, I guess it's everything's context, and I think that's why I've been trying to figure out why I hate social media so much, and I think it's that. I will snap at my kids, and I did it this morning, man. I made a face like I was trying to lift, and my daughter interrupted me like 9 times in a row. And I have headphones on that block out the world, and I kept taking them off and taking them off and taking them off. And then she came back down, and I just ripped them off, and I was like, "What?" And she was asking me a question that was not worthy of that response. And I could tell it was just too much. It was so stupid of me to act like that. Well, that's when often I'll make a post, or my daughter comes in and says, "Dad, you want to dance?" And I'm in the middle of writing something that has of a no importance. And I'll say, "No, I'm doing something." And she'll just drop her shoulders and walk off. And I'll make a post that says, "Hey, if your daughter ever asks you to dance, the answer is always yes. Just stop what you're doing." And so there's always notes to myself. And it's amazing how frustrated people get. Like, how dare you say this to me, as I'm indicting, like I'm following them around their homes. And so often, almost always, it's a note to myself. But it's that it comes across in 2D. And so it just depends on what glasses you're wearing as to how you see certain things. And so anyway, that's just me saying, hey, these notes are to me, right? And if they ring true, man, I'm so glad that my stupidity can help somebody go, "You're right. I need to remind myself to say yes. My daughter asked me to dance." But more than that, I just want to say thanks, man. If someone takes the time to write in and tell me that they hate me and they think I'm an idiot and whatever, you know what? I'm glad that you spent the time to write in. And if you're with us and feel less alone out in the world, then I'm glad that you're with us. It just over the weekend hit me like 1 million people is a lot of people, right? That's a lot of people. And so I'm just grateful that people are riding and dying with us. Pretty cool, man. Actually, nobody's died with us yet, but they're still riding.
Hope not.
Yeah. Hope everybody's riding and living. That sounds lame.
Doesn't rhyme, though,
That does not have the same What was that show with Jax? Sons of Anarchy. This doesn't have the same vibe to it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're riding and living.
Yeah.
That didn't sound right.
That was a great
you
show.
gotta ride or die. It was a great show. And Kelly loves her some Jax.
Yes, I do.
Bye, guys.